I have one last question for you today, which is, and it's pretty straightforward. I think I know where you're going to go with this, but we'll see. You might surprise me. What are some of the ways that you think that the average person, and this can be black, white, or other, that the average person can address racism in the U.S.? What are some of the ways that they can do it?
Well, first, there is no average person. So let me disaggregate. Okay. So for white folks, I think that there are two ways that they have to deal with this. One, they need to deal with this individual level racism. Some of it, they may be cognizant. They know that, yeah, I don't know why, but I still feel afraid when I see a black person in the street. Yeah. So you got to deal with that. But a lot of it may be unconscious. So you have to deal with your nightmares and your issues. Yeah. But the second component is you got to do something about it collectively. So you have to join social movements for racial justice. That's for white folks. And that is a tall task because most whites are into, I'm a good white person. I never use the N-word. And I love Mignon. She's so pretty. She's so great. She's so articulate. And yeah, I don't get the articulate.
I get the articulate. I get that all the time.
I don't get the articulate, but I get all kinds of comments. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to disaggregate. So let's talk about the onus for us, people of color. Mm-hmm. I am happy that, and you and I have been in the academy for a bit, just 10, 12 years ago, lots of the young folks of color were crazy. They were smoking the wacky tobacco of post-racialism. They believed that, hey, we have Obama, and my white friend uses the N-word, but it doesn't mean anything, etc. So I'm going to lie, for a little bit, I was really on a low thinking, wow, after all this work is nothing. Yeah. Black folks confused, and it's hard for us to see a way for them to get out of their confusion. Mm-hmm. And then the Black Lives Movement emerged, mm-hmm. and I'm not going to lie, we're good in talking, but prediction is the test for us, and few of us predicted that. Mm-hmm. I know certainly, and I confess, I didn't predict that movement. I was happy it emerged. I'm even happier that we have now the Black Lives Matter 2.0 version. Yes. That is then connecting dots, that is not only talking about classic overt racism, but thinking about what I have called the new racism. Yes. It is the 2.0 version because they're also asking Biden, Harris, it's not enough for you to say, I care about you and I'm for this reform. We want some deeper discussions on reparations. We have discussions about policing, but we also have to talk about jobs, education. So they're talking about systemic problems. Mm-hmm. That's the part that sort of gives me hope that people of color are doing that. Now, here is the pesoptimist in me. Let me repeat. I'm a pesoptimist. Yeah, I have some optimism, but I have also some pessimism. The pessimism is this. The white folks who joined the Black Lives Matter movement, mm-hmm. and we were happy, and it was like a massive organization and lots of whites in the marches. So my concern is, what will happen to all those people who march once the marches disappear? Yeah. And even during the period of mobilization, when the marches were done for the day, do they regress to or return to whiteness as usual? Right. So the question for whites and the pessimism part in me is, what will happen in the next few years? Will they just be happy? I did that, but now I'm like, and you talk about youth. So youth is tricky, yeah, because there is this thing we call the life course. Mm-hmm. And it is many whites in college are progressive, even radical. Mm-hmm. Then they make decisions like, I need to get me a job. I need to decide on housing, and I need to decide on marriage. And all of a sudden, it's like, for the job, it's like, Tyrone got the good job because he's black. So all of a sudden, it's like, wait a second, didn't you read that book 10 years ago? So all of a sudden, when it is for real, college is still like fake money. It's like monopoly. It's fake money. Mm-hmm. When it is for real, and they have to make decisions about jobs, about marriage, about neighborhood, and then schools for their kids. So the test for young whites is not now, 10 years down the road. Right. Will you sustain? if you are an anti-racist, that is not a fad. It should be a lifelong commitment.
Exactly.
And for people of color, particularly for this mostly middle-class audience or aspiring middle-class audience in colleges, the test of civilization is, are you going to continue fighting, or you're going to become an accommodationist black or brown person, trying to get the money, thinking, well, I know they're racist, but at least I get paid.
Exactly.
And for those of you who are in the accommodationist camp, let me tell you the truth, and it's a sad truth. Yes, you'll make money, but you'll be miserable. Because it's better to fight, even though I'm not going to lie, the life of the person fighting, my life, so people now call me a doctor, professor, all kinds of beautiful names. I still deal with all kinds of issues in the academy and outside. Because when you fight, people don't like it. Eh? But I sleep tight every night because I know I'm doing my thing the way I want to do it and speaking my truth. I don't mind to be wrong, but I do mind when people try to tell me, you got to believe this, period. I'm like, I don't have to believe anything. I have to, you prove me wrong and I'm willing to debate. But the fact that you want to tell me you cannot even believe this or argue this or think this, I don't accept that, because slavery is over, baby. It's a new racism regime.
He's like, I'm liberated into the new racism.
I am a free person of color. That's the most dangerous thing to be. And that's what I want young folks of color to mimic, that idea of being a free person of color, because we will never be free until we begin behaving as free people.
So. All right. Well, I think that we've had a fantastic conversation today, and I'm super grateful that you spent the time that you did with us and that you shared so much of your knowledge and your expertise and your experiences with us. Thank you so much, Dr. Eduardo Bonilla Silva, for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.